Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I am making something I haven't made in quite a while, a top 10 video. This is a top 10 I've wanted to create for a while because right now I'm going to list out 10 new gold card ideas that I would like to see in Injustice Mobile. So before we get started, let me explain what that means a little bit. What I will be listing are 10 card forms that are not from the Injustice Gods Among Us console game. These are all forms of the characters that come from outside of the console game. Basically, we have ones from the Arkham games, we have ones from the CW shows, some animated shows, the comics obviously, and even the films. So we got a lot to cover, and let's just go ahead, jump right into it. These are the top 10 new gold card ideas I would like to see in Injustice Mobile. Number 10. In the number 10 slot, we have Arkham Solomon Grundy, who you may remember fighting in Arkham City, Batman Arkham City. So obviously with this character, I think it's really a shame that they never put this character in Injustice Mobile. This, I think, is my favorite design of Solomon Grundy that we've yet seen. All of the versions from Injustice Gods Among Us are, admittedly very cool looking, but still, after all these years, I think the version from Arkham City is still the coolest design of Solomon Grundy I've yet seen. In any case, I would love for Arkham Solomon Grundy to come in the game, and also, I would like his passive to be something we haven't seen in a long time. So essentially, the Solomon Grundy Bronze and Silver cards have two things that they have in common. Bronze Solomon Grundy will come back with 25% health, and then Silver Solomon Grundy will come back with 50% health. Now, in all of the other gold Solomon Grundy cards, this tradition basically did not continue. And so that always kind of bothered me, but with Arkham Solomon Grundy, there is actually a really awesome way they could bring this back. And this is going to sound crazy, but I take it the next step. So it goes from 25, 50, 75. I want to see Arkham Solomon Grundy, after he loses all of his health, gain back 75% of his health after death. That is freaking correct. And also, there's aesthetically a reason to do this as well. In the boss fight, Arkham Grundy basically has two forms. He has his starting out form, in which he is not damaged from the fight that he has with Batman. Then afterwards, he gets... basically his chest opens up and you see his rib cage, and basically it kind of just works perfectly. What you could do is have Solomon Grundy's base form be how he looks in the beginning of the fight, and then after he dies and gets back his health, he can transform into his secondary form with his rib cage opened up, and in which aesthetically there's a reason to do this, and it's just a part of the old Solomon Grundy cards that I would like to see continued. Yes, that's a little crazy, 75% health back, but I was thinking about it, and with all the really crazy passives that are in this game, I feel like that would just be on par with everybody else. So go ahead, please. I would love to see this version of Solomon Grundy in the game. And before we move on to number 9, I would just like to bring in a new character idea that, also comes from Arkham City, and that is Clayface. Clayface, I guess spoiler alert, is who you fight at the end of Arkham City. He is the final boss of the game, and in which he himself has a lot of really cool moves as well. He does some punching. He turns into a giant ball and rolls towards you. He transforms his hand into like a mallet or a hammer, and he smashes it on the ground. I mean, there's just a lot of potential for a really cool moveset. And the other thing was that this would sort of complete the Arkham trilogy. You would have Arkham Killer Croc, Arkham Solomon Grundy, and then Arkham Clayface, and it would be the most perfect trilogy of disgusting monsters, basically. So please make the Arkham trilogy, basically the Arkham Monster trilogy, please. Number 9. In the number 9 slot, I have 2 versions of one character. One is Animated Static and Young Justice Static. Now, admittedly, I don't really know a ton about Static, but what I do know is that he had a very popular cartoon back in the day, and he was also very popular in the series Young Justice. So when it comes to bringing a card to Injustice Mobile based on versions of Static, you could basically go with either of these. Animated Static could look the same way that Animated Batman Beyond and Animated Harley look, or you can go for Young Justice Static, and therefore I would want him to be portrayed in the game as all the other characters, as an adaptation of the version of from the show. So those are the 2 versions I basically came up with. You could either have the popular cartoon version in which Static is animated, or the Young Justice version, which I think a lot of people really like Young Justice. So you can pull either Static. You can do both if you want. That would be kind of interesting. Either one, I would just like to see more Static representation, not only in the game, but just all around. I found in my research that Static is kind of not really appearing that much in the comics and just all around. I would like Static to get more representation. I was really bummed out when he got canceled from Injustice 2. So really, I think he needs some redemption. Bring one of these 2, both, or pull a different, version of Static out of thin air. Doesn't matter, but we need more Static representation. So, Animated Static or Young Justice Static or any other Static, we just want more Static. Number 8. In the number 8 slot, we have Killer Frost from the Flash CW show. I really like Killer Frost from the Flash. I really like Danielle Panabaker. I think she is really pretty. And I think she makes for a pretty Killer Frost. I just like her a lot. Ever since Danielle was in Sky High as interestingly a character who can control like plants, you would feel like she would be playing Poison Ivy later on, but not the case. She is Killer Frost, which is, kind of the exact opposite. But in any sense, I would really like to see Killer Frost from the CW Flash in Injustice Mobile, because it's not that we need a new Killer Frost, but it's that I want a new Killer Frost. Sort of in the same mindset as Grundy. We don't need a new Grundy. Earth 2 Solomon Grundy is actually very good and is kind of like the essential Solomon Grundy card. This is just one of those that I personally want to see because I just really like the character and I really like the design. It's just something I want. Essentially, I want a new Killer Frost. I really like Danielle Panabaker's Killer Frost from the Flash CW show. So please bring us that Killer Frost. Number 7. So here in the number 7 slot, we are moving on to a character who desperately needs a new card. That is Ares from Wonder Woman, the Wonder Woman film, the critically acclaimed Wonder Woman film. This is a good idea for many reasons. Number 1, Wonder Woman was critically acclaimed, and despite what a lot of people say, I thought Ares was really cool from Wonder Woman. I did like his design a lot. His design was kind of in the film, spoilers, it's too late. I would call him Mythic Ares, as Wonder Woman from that movie in Injustice 2 is called Mythic Wonder Woman. Call Ares Mythic Ares. I like his design. He creates it like on the spot, and I like it because regular Ares in the game, you know, he has a suit. He has a suit of armor, and it's, you know, very obviously well crafted. But Ares' armor in the movie is made up on the spot, and there's something about that I think looks really cool. I would like to see that put into this game. It's a win-win. It's Ares from a critically acclaimed film. It's a really cool looking version of Ares. Very different from the Ares we already have. And he looks different from the Ares you can find in Breakthrough. So please give us a new Ares from Wonder Woman. Number 6. In the number 6 slot, we have Rebirth Cyborg. Now, Cyborg is a character that desperately... He is among only a few characters in the game that have one gold card in the whole game. Desperately. We are desperate for a new Cyborg. Please give us a new Cyborg. I don't care who it is. It can be an animated Cyborg. It can be a whatever Cyborg, okay? But I picked Rebirth Cyborg, as there are now 4 Rebirth characters, I believe, in which go ahead and give us Rebirth Cyborg. And, you know, off the top of my head, give us another Rebirth, because I don't like having, you know, even numbers in this game. I would like there to be either 3 or 6, because now for Rebirth characters we're at 4, and that's a weird number. So I would like them to add 2 more Rebirths. So go ahead, do Rebirth Cyborg, and you guys have been treating this man horribly, okay? You need to make this man one of the best characters in the game. Make him incredible. Make him like you did in Injustice 2, where Justice League Cyborg is like the best. He is like top 5 in the best, I think. I don't really know. To me, he's super good. He has a really high damage, and he gives the other Justice League members really high damage. So do the same damn thing for Rebirth Cyborg. Have him have really high damage, and then have him give other Rebirth characters really high damage. Okay, obviously, this is going to make characters like Rebirth Wally West unstoppable, but too freaking bad, alright? You've been treating this man horribly. You gotta give us Rebirth Cyborg. So, please, we are desperate for a new Cyborg. Please give us Cyborg. And you're gonna have to make him, like, top 5 best in the game, because you have treated this man terribly. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Number 5. In the number 5 slot, we honestly have one that I don't really care so much about this one. This one is probably the one I want the least out of the whole list. But this is Martian Manhunter from Supergirl. Now, I think Martian Manhunter's design from the Supergirl CW show, I think his design is really cool. I would like to see that design come to Injustice Mobile. Now, the reason I say this, that I want a new Martian Manhunter, basically, I want every character in the game to have one card that is really good. That is, like, good for online, good just all around. That is a competitive card. And Martian Manhunter Prime is very weak. Blackest Night Martian Manhunter is pretty good. I mean, he used to be really good, but I don't think he's all that great anymore. I love Blackest Night Martian Manhunter's design, but I think he's just not that good anymore. He's not bad. I haven't used him in a long time, basically, competitively. So, this is a good opportunity to bring us Martian Manhunter from Supergirl and make this Martian Manhunter the premium, the prime, the best Martian Manhunter in the game. You know, he's relevant. You know, people would see him and go, oh, I watched Supergirl, there's Martian Manhunter. Like a lot of things on this list, relevance is very important. He's relevant. He has a very cool design. It's a very good way to bring us a great version of the character that also looks really cool. So, give us Martian Manhunter from Supergirl, please. And if not that Martian Manhunter, bring us a different version of Martian Manhunter. Number 4. Alright, here we have one that is going to sound a little weird. But I'm going to try to explain this one the best I can. This is Bane from Dark Knight Rises. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. I don't think this is ever happening. I'm going to say this right now. For all the ones I've listed, and actually all the ones that are going to come after this slot, I think are possible. Well, except for one other one I'm going to say. But this one, I think, honestly, there's a higher % chance of this never happening than actually happening. And you know, there's a few reasons for that. But let's just say this. I put Bane from The Dark Knight Rises on this list because I really love Bane. I really love Bane from that movie. You know, you take away the voice, take away, you know, just, I don't know, his whole plan in the movie, you know, his awesome, hilarious, memorable lines in the film. You know, take that all away. I love how he looks, and I love how he fights. Now, let me get into... You're probably saying, why do you think this will never happen? It could. Here's the thing. This Bane is physically different from the other Banes that are already in the game. I think they would have to build this character as a brand new character. And, you know, I don't think the people in NetherRealm are lazy. Definitely not. It's just that I can't see them reworking a character like this. But because he wouldn't be like the other Banes at all. Well, I guess they could make him similar, but I think they would have to make him be his own version. And, you know, if they do go ahead and do that, I would like to see his Special 1 and Special 2 have, obviously, moves from the movie. There are basically 2 major fight sequences that take place. The one in the middle, where he beats the goddamn hell out of Batman, and the end. And I would definitely bring most of his special moves from the fight in the middle of the movie. That would be so damn cool. This is Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series. I'm sure, don't quote me, I'm sure that he probably would have to license this himself for use. You know, I don't know if he would do that. Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. I just love this Bane so much. It would be amazing if he was in this game. So, please bring Bane from The Dark Knight Rises to this game. Give him his own special moves from the movie. It would be fantastic. I would love it. Number 3. Alright, in the number 3 slot, we have a very powerful man. Very powerful. In fact, one of the most powerful characters in the DC universe, Darkseid. That is right. You know, when they gave us Apocalypse Darkseid, I thought he was the best in the game. But you look back on it now, and that version of Darkseid is not even... I don't even think he's in the top, like, 10 of most competitive characters. Maybe he is, but it doesn't seem that way. And this is Darkseid. He is so goddamn powerful. He's so much more powerful than, like, all the other characters in this game. For a fact, he is more powerful than all the playable characters in this game. So, I'm making a declaration. And by the way, I want the new 52 version of Darkseid, because after reading up on him, he's apparently the most powerful version of Darkseid, apparently. And it seems like he's more powerful than every character playable, more powerful than Superman, Shazam. That's about it. I think those are the most powerful characters. You have other Darkseids, but this seems to be the most powerful Darkseid there is. You know, maybe on par with Apocalypse Darkseid, but still. So I'm making a declaration. I want New 52 Darkseid to be the game's most powerful character. You heard me right. They can go about this in two ways. They could either make him the most powerful gold card in the game, or if they make a new type of card, platinum card, diamond card, legendary card, or ruby card, Darkseid could be a great candidate to be the very first and probably most powerful ruby card. The supreme ruler, the man of Apocalypse from the fiery depths. I want Darkseid to be the most powerful character in the game. I'm sick of all these Supermans, okay? All these Batmans. It's time for Darkseid to reclaim the throne, okay? As the king. Yeah, I just kind of just had this thought of, you know, Darkseid really, you know, if he should really be the most powerful card in the game. Or how about this? How about he is just as good as the likes of Injustice 2 Superman, or, you know, Injustice 2 Aquaman? How about he is on par with the likes of those characters, okay? I feel like that is a easy conclusion we can all come to. But Darkseid is your boy. The other reason I want Darkseid is because everyone's flipping out about Thanos, okay? It kind of makes me mad, in a sense, because Thanos is essentially a Darkseid ripoff, and no one gives a shit about Darkseid right now because Thanos snaps his damn finger and then all the fanboys are flipping out. Thanos has he has the entire internet by the balls right now. The entire internet. Everybody's talking about Thanos. Thanos is in Fortnite. He's dominating. Infinity War is the highest grossing film in a weekend at the box office. Thanos is the king right now. And it's time for my boy Darkseid to reclaim the throne. Okay. I probably went on about Darkseid for a little too long. I'm sorry. But your boy needs to return to beat the hell out of everybody. So let's move on to number 2. Number 2. Okay, so in the number 2 slot, we have a character that I legitimately cannot believe, for the life of me, I cannot believe that this character is not yet in this game. I'm not spending a lot of time on this. Arkham Knight Nightwing. Guys, why? Okay? When they started bringing Arkham Knight characters to this game, you had a trio. Batman, Arkham Knight, Harley Quinn. But then afterwards, they brought Arkham Knight Catwoman. And then later on, Arkham Knight Batgirl. Oh, but there's an open slot. I wonder who they can put. Guys, if you don't put Arkham Knight Nightwing... Look, Nightwing has one card, and it's god-awful. Nightwing is low on the list of characters. He's not very good. If he's not... He may not be one of the worst, but he's not one of the best. I don't even think he's in the middle. Anyway, please, for the love of God, this is not going to be a long one. Guys, Arkham Knight Nightwing, honestly, I have a feeling that they're probably going to put this character in the game. Arkham Knight Batgirl was not that long ago, so it would only make sense that we have an actual good Nightwing, have it be the most obvious version ever Arkham Knight Nightwing, please. By the way, there's been a little bit of an interesting thing that happened. The Gingold Soda Gear has you taking less damage on basic attacks. Silver Nightwing takes less damage already as his passive, so... And then you also have the Suicide Squad Killer Croc Gear, you take even less. So Silver Nightwing takes 0 damage. Or, not 0, but very little. Very little or 0 is what it seems. So you know what? This man has also been treated so horribly. I'm gonna go all the way. I am going to say something that is going to piss off everybody. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it. Have Nightwing and his teammates take 10% less damage. Or 15%. Or 20%. Have the whole team, not Arkham team. That's too much power for the Arkham team. Just have it be his teammates. He and his teammates get 10% less damage. Good night. You've treated this man so horribly. You gotta do this, okay? Or else Nightwing is coming for your ass. And that's not a threat. I'm just saying. Just put Arkham Knight Nightwing in the game. I can't even think of another version of Nightwing off the top of my head. There are like 800 billion versions of Nightwing. Just pick one and put him in the game. Please. Please. I want to kick some ass with Nightwing, and I currently can't do that. So please, for the love of God, Arkham Knight Nightwing. Number 1. Here we are, folks. The final entry. The number 1 type of character that I want. Here it is. And it's a tie between 2 versions of one character. And I'm not going to go on about this for very long because I've already talked about this actually in the past. That is either Heath Ledger's Joker or animated Joker from the Batman animated series. Now, truth be told, I said for static, you know, that you could either pick one or put them in, or put both of them in. I definitely want both of these in the game. You can pick one, but I want them both. Because here's the thing. We have 2 animated characters, and, you know, I want the trio to be completed. So either put animated Static, or put animated Joker, or put them both. But if I were to pick one, I would definitely pick animated Joker. Animated Joker is awesome. His design is iconic. You know, you have animated Harley Quinn, literally from Batman the Animated Series, so put in Joker. What are you doing? This should have been years ago they should have done this. But in any case, yeah, I want animated Joker. I think that would be awesome, iconic. And, off the top of my head, I think that would be the only Joker voiced by Mark Hamill to appear in Injustice Mobile. Isn't that interesting? If I'm correct, Arkham Origins Joker was voiced by Troy Baker, so I think this is the only Mark Hamill Joker to be in Injustice Mobile if it happens. But then, here we are, the big boy, the number 1 character. Basically, if you took one, if they said to me, you can only have one character on this whole list to put in the game, Heath Ledger's Joker. Now, I'm going to preface this by Heath Ledger sadly passed away shortly after the filming of The Dark Knight. Now, that makes this a little difficult because is it ethical to put a guy who's dead in a game like this? You know, is that ethical? But then again, it's Heath Ledger's Joker, not really Heath Ledger himself. It is the adaptation. It is the Joker from the movie, not Heath Ledger himself. But that being said, I guess, you know, ethically, you know, you don't want to, I don't know if it's really okay to do something like this, but in how I see it, as this is honoring the character. He was immortalized in the role of the Joker in The Dark Knight, and that is the best version of the Joker basically ever. I would say he's on par with the Arkham series and the animated series, but I think it would be very honorable to have him as a strong playable character in Injustice Mobile. I don't think that's an unethical act to put someone who's passed away as their most iconic role in a game. Because we all love Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, there's only a few people who don't like him, but I love this version of the character, and I would love to see him put in this game. But yes, I'll say it again. As I said with Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, I just think this is highly unlikely. As much as I would want it, this is my number one character that I would pick. As I said, if you told me I can only put one character in this game from the whole list, I would say Heath Ledger's Joker. But I just don't see it happening. I mean, you know, they could probably pull some strings, but that's why I also suggested animated Joker. Animated Joker would be a good, you know, version to put in instead of Heath Ledger, but if they're able to put in Heath Ledger's Joker, I would love to see him. He's my favorite version of the Joker, I think. You know, Arkham Joker is up there. He's up there, but Heath Ledger's Joker is just really something. So, you know, everything ethics and all of that, I love this version of the Joker, and I would love to see him show up in this game, but obviously, you know, I highly doubt it would ever happen. That's just me being a fanboy, you know, Bane from Dark Knight Rises and all this craziness. That's just me. So that is going to do it. I hope you guys enjoy this list. 10 character card ideas that I would really want. And, you know, I was looking through the roster, and there's of course a few other characters that also need new card forms. Zatanna, Lex Luthor, Shazam. I've kind of already have talked about these characters, and I didn't include them on this list because these 10 versions, I personally really like these 10 versions of these cards. And, you know, since this is, you know, my opinion, these are the characters that I would want to see a lot. But when it comes to Zatanna, Shazam, Lex Luthor, characters like that, even Lobo, I want to see a new character card, but I couldn't really for myself figure out what type of card I wanted. So maybe one day I'll make a follow-up with maybe 5 more. But these 10 are the ones I want the most. So, do you agree with my list? Are there any characters that I left out? Do you maybe not like any of the versions that I picked? Would you maybe want to see a different interpretation? Would you maybe want to see a different version of the characters I did not include? Anything like that? Or do you love my list? Do you think my list is perfect? Anything like that. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Leave a comment. Give me your suggestions, differences, who you like, and all that. So, thank you for watching my top 10. I will see you in the next video. Keep on fighting. Have a fantastic day.